Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and let's jump in here. There we go. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Here, look up in the corner there, and I have more money than the last video ended with. That's because when I made the perfect video, the best video ever, I'm telling you, it was magnificent, and did 2 fertilizing jobs. The problem is when I went to play back the video, I had all of the audio and just one screen at the beginning. The first frame was all that recorded. So the beautiful, awesome, magnificent video was not to be, alas. So, and then with my limited schedule of being able to record stuff, then obviously wasn't able to make a replacement video in between then and now. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, I've done harvesting, I've done fertilizing, which you didn't see, unfortunately, but I'm just going to do a cultivating job today. So it's field 8. Let's go ahead and borrow those items. Come on, controller. Okay, there we go. For some reason, sometimes there's like some delay. And let's see, it's just the tractor and the cultivator. That's a huge cultivator. Zoom out a bit. So it's been a couple of weeks since I played this game. Might be a little rusty. Not like you could tell the difference, I'm sure. Alright, let's see here. Field 8, where are you? So that's just right up the road next to... Oh, that's a huge run. Okay. Make sure that is field 8. Yeah, okay, this is a really big field. Okay. I remember it. You probably remember it from last time. Speaking of, I did get one comment from my previous videos. It was from, I believe, Frank is the one who mentioned about the music. And yes, the music that is in these videos is actually stuff that I've done myself because I don't want to pay any royalty fees or get copyright striked. So I just use some of my old stuff. I have a lot of that electronica, techno type music, Eurobeat sort of thing, EDM. It's got more names than pretty much any other style of music out there. Alright, let me make sure. This thing looks like it's a huge cultivator, so let's see how big it is. To unfold. Alright, that's not too bad. This definitely will not take... I'm not lowered yet. Okay, this will not take as long as the harvesting did, but this is a giant field, so this could actually still take quite a bit of time. Let's see, I'm going to fold this really quick. I gotta get a better angle at this. The wrong way. I kind of want to go right about here, I think. Okay, so let's unfold. It's okay if it's not quite exactly on. I say as I change it because it's off by a centimeter. Okay, that's good enough. Let's go ahead and lower. It's just that tiny little bit right there in the very, very corner that got missed. Oh well, not my field, right? Okay, unlike fertilizing, this is at least easy to tell where I've been. The fertilizing was actually kind of brutal in that regard. The first field was actually, because I did 2 fields total, the first field was actually pretty easy, straightforward, but the second field, it was like dry fertilizer on an almost fully raised crop, I could not see anywhere where I'd been the previous pass, so I had to actually do the mini map to tell where I was. So, you know, turn on like cruise control, and I'd go up here and be like, okay, let's see, we want to see, like, looking at that little map there in the middle is how I was trying to figure out if I had missed a spot or not. So as you saw there, it doesn't do a real-time update either. It shows where you are, but it doesn't update where the field had been fertilized. And so it ended up being a real pain trying to figure out where I was. And so actually, maybe best video ever, not quite accurate. I'm sure you're shocked by that. In any case, it was actually an interesting experience, but probably a good thing it wasn't on film. Saying that now, then people are going to be like, oh, yeah, was it really a video problem? Actually, I don't have to worry about people saying that because there's like 3 people who'll actually watch this video, so yeah. Alright, so this, I am going to have to do a kind of header row across the top up here, at least where this building is, which is annoying. But I'm not going to be doing the giant circle on this one because of the way the cultivators work. Let's see. So I am going to just do a regular back and forth. And we want to lower. And do some cruise control. And get this top row taken care of. Alright, I will say in this game, I do have some plans for what I'm going to be doing. So always good to have a plan, right? And so the main idea that I'm going to go for is to start with, to make money. From what I've seen on other people's videos, horses are a really good way to make lots of money. It does take 10 in-game days to do if you're going to get them fully raised, which is what I'm going to be doing. But you buy them for $5,000 each, and you can sell them for $50,000. And the cost of food and things like that is not actually that much. You can easily buy the cheaper equipment to use, and then lease anything until you get enough money. In fact, let me I'm actually going to go ahead and go down to the other end of this field when I do this one. Just because with cultivators, I don't know if it'll make a huge difference. I probably should have gone on the row over. Oh well, too late now. Anyway, I keep interrupting myself. I'm really good at doing that, in case you couldn't tell. Dragging through the fence. Okay, there we go. Anyway, let me just show you really quick. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to buy probably this field down here, field 14. It costs $102,624. It's currently got a bunch of cotton, I believe. Yeah, cotton on there. There's no way this field is big enough to make it worth buying and getting all the equipment that you need in order to do cotton. And let me get this lined up. Okay. Anyway, so it's not worth leasing the equipment for that amount of cotton. You're never going to get your money back. It's just going to be a waste. But it's also a really weirdly shaped field, which is kind of small. There's not much that I would want to grow on there. It's going to be small yields anyway. So I'm thinking I'll get that, put the horse paddock on there, rent or lease, I guess, the equipment that I might need just to take care of the horses for a few days, and buy the horse and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, 100,000 for the field, it's 50,000 for the horse paddock, and 5,000 for horses. So I need another 10 because I want 2 horses. One horse is not going to be enough to recoup all of what you will spend, but 2 horses will be. Because one horse being sold almost covers by itself. Well, it would by itself do the horse paddock fee of $50,000. It doesn't quite pay for itself in addition, because you got the $5,000 for the horse plus $300, I believe, for transporting, since I'm not going to have the equipment to transport, and it would cost more to lease it than to just do the transportation fee. So what I'm planning on doing then, probably get about $200,000 in hand. Once I get 200,000, then I can go and purchase the horse paddock, the field first, the horse paddock, 2 horses, and get the feed and the equipment needed to get the feed into the trough, all of that stuff. And then I will be able to raise the horses. I'll still do some contracts in between, because again, it's a 10-day process in game. Obviously I can fast forward time if I want to once I'm done with a day's ride and things like that, but I will probably still do some contracts on that even at that point. Just try not to break all the traffic here, just to just make sure that I'm making money on it. And then when I get enough money to get more horses, I'll just get more horses until I fill out the small paddock. And I just missed it. That is going to bug me, so get the control back. Okay, you gonna be like that? Let's go here. My skills of geometry are so good. Alright. Get in a straight line. Okay. Multitasking, I can do it. How about you? Anyway, so that's going to be my plan for making money as we move forward. That said, probably, I don't know. It's going to take a bit of time to get all of the income in place. But $200,000, I'm actually a quarter of the way there already. Sadly, I won't be able to do the math involved with figuring out, how much I'm making per hour, all that stuff that I was doing on some of the other videos, well, the videos you've seen. Because of the missing episodes in there, I can do a rough estimate on there based on the time on the clock and things like that. But that was just a little thing for my nerd brain. Try to figure out what would be the best min-maxing type of a thing. Not that I will necessarily do that myself, because sometimes you got to do stuff just for fun rather than because it makes you the most money. That's probably a life lesson as well. Life lessons with Peter. Anyway, aside from that, I hope everybody's days are all going really well right now. It's getting closer and closer to Christmas right now, which is a holiday, as you know. It's hard for me right now to really celebrate a lot of holidays, just with all the stuff that's gone on in my life. Let's lower cruise control. But it is getting better than it has been the past few years on there. The main reason it really sucks is because a lot of the really bad things that have happened in my life have been centered around winter, within 30 to 60 days of Christmas. So it just kind of piles on. I won't go into all the details. Obviously, some of it deals with the divorce. But it also, there's stuff that, like my mom passed away on New Year's Day back in 2013, and, that was right near what would have been my first anniversary. And it's just, really, really hard stuff on there. So, by the way, I say would have been, that was my first anniversary. I'm just thinking of, the whole marriage in past tense now, which is part of the healing process, I guess. And, it's just day by day, get over that stuff. But yeah, it means the holidays, not my favorite time of the year. I don't mind other people enjoying the holidays. In fact, I prefer that they do, because I don't want everybody to have, the same garbage that I've had to go through. I certainly don't want to depress other people. So yeah, I'll probably stop talking about that now, because if I do continue talking about that, then I will depress myself. And I am a people too. Alright, here we go. I'm not going to turn over to try and correct some of this really horrible cultivating that I did earlier. Yeah, that's good enough. I have a fairly straight edge this time to work with. And it actually hits right against the bar that's pulling, which gives me pretty accurate location for the next time around. I say as it clearly isn't. Let's get this straightened out. Okay, that looks much better. I don't know if I can... Just a teensy bit over. I think I've got it. Yes. Might have missed like a little tiny patch there, but I think we're done with where the building is, so this won't take quite as long to do the turnaround up top, because I don't have to worry about crashing into the building. I have more space. This field is actually pretty decently sized, as you know, and it goes pretty close to the road and to the building, so there's not much room that you could use to expand it if you just have this field. I'm getting a little off track with this, though. I had to put a little bit of a curve in. One of the things this game teaches you is how little tiny mistakes can snowball into giant, huge mistakes later on if you're not careful. Who says that games are not educational, right? I mean, you should really learn that in your life. Okay. I'm thinking if I do all these contracts, I'll probably be replanting this field too at some point. And putting fertilizer on and all that stuff, because it's part of the system of contracts and jobs. Yeah, this is the last road that I have to worry about the building. Yeah, can I get through there? Not quite. Doesn't make it. Just barely. Okay. So I can use this giant field to turn around. This is the tightest turning radius it's got because it's actually hitting against the edge of the bar there with the wheels. Alright, here we go. So, if I haven't already, I'll probably put this on fast forward now. As I mentioned, I do my own music for this, so let's throw in some of the other music I've been working on. I prefer probably neoclassical. That's my favorite type of stuff. I call it neoclassical because it's not really classical. It doesn't fit into those genres. It's made on a computer. It's not performed with real instruments, although I wish it was. And it's just kind of my stuff. Very heavily influenced by pop structure, 4-chord songs, things like that. But I try to make some of them more intricate. I've been playing a lot with dissonance lately, so I really like this song here. Alright, we are getting towards the end of this. Even when the completion pops up, I am going to still continue going until I get the whole field cultivated. I don't know how Giants has this programmed, whether if you don't cultivate the whole field, then that section never gets cultivated, and then when there's planting and things like that, it just doesn't grow, it doesn't produce as much, so that if you do end up harvesting the field, then it doesn't give you as much extra crop in the end. I don't know if that's how they got it. I'm assuming that is, though, just for this. Besides which, it's kind of a bit of OCD to have to want to finish everything on it. It doesn't cost me anything except time, which isn't a big deal. It's not like with fertilizer where you literally get paid back for what you don't use. So one thing I would do differently if I was going to do this job again, which I probably will, and actually I'm just going to have to do this now because this hill is so ridiculous. I'm actually thinking it's better to have done one of those rows, like a little header type row, around the entire thing. So let's go ahead and get this here now. That gives more space to do the turnaround at the end of the field. And this hill, being what it is, it's pretty steep and it's hard to come up over that. So I'm going to give myself just a little bit more space here by adding this on the end. And then, of course, the edge, it always says, you know, that, yeah, here we go. The contract is now finished, so I don't have to do any more. In any case, what I was saying is the space, you know, it always says that it's reserved for the field use, which is technically what I'm using it for, but since the edge of this goes off into the other person's field, then that's why it gives that warning. Or it really just goes off the field. Let's see, do I have this lowered? Yes, and let's do cruise control. This should give me enough space so that I can turn around. All right. So, just this little tiny part left to wrap this up. And then we'll see what the full reward will be. I didn't do any of the math beforehand, so I know it's going to take off a chunk. But hopefully I'll be over 60,000 when this is all said and done. And that would just be another step towards becoming a horse rancher. As they call them, farmers here, but you don't farm animals. That's like a ranch. I guess you can have a dairy farm with cows. But of course, this could also just be because I'm from Colorado and everything out here is ranches. So maybe in other parts of the world they're still called farms. I don't know. Not that it's really a big deal. Okay, that's done. Turn around. Just a little tiny triangle left. I'll leave a little bit of overhang because I know that that up at the end is not straight. So I'll go over a bit just to try and make it a little straighter. I'm not a machine, so I don't get this 100% correct. Still, that's kind of embarrassing up there, that little gouge. But now it will be gone. And we're almost there. And this didn't take anywhere near as long as it did to harvest, but this field is still pretty big. That's why it gives you the most money. And it is worth doing bigger ones over smaller ones, unless you can get really, really fast. If you can get really fast, you can do multiple small ones that give you more money in the long run. But I am not that good yet. Let's see here. How much can I get the whole thing? I don't think it's quite big enough, so it'll have to be 2 passes. But look at how close we are. What would really annoy people with OCD is if I just leave that little patch there. Don't worry. I would not do that. I know there's little tiny bits and pieces here and there in the field that were lost, but that's the way it goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn in this. We'll end up, oh, we're only getting 3,000 of it. I thought this was the, I was thinking it was the 13,000 one, but I was looking at the wrong one. So no, I'll still actually even be under 55,000, but good enough for now. We're at 54,139. All right, that'll do it for me today. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and save before I forget. And quit.